Hey guys, what's up? So, one of the big complaints I've seen, or maybe it's not really a complaint, but people want to learn Cox. People want to start raiding Cox. I've never done it before, and one of the big things, obviously, is they need to find a team. So, they need to have some friends that want to go with them, or they need to find some clannies that want to go with them, and it's easier said than done sometimes. And I'm sure some of you guys have realized that. Sometimes people are at work, sometimes people are just doing other stuff, sometimes people just don't want to be bothered. And it can, dishearten people, make them not want to do Cox, make them not want to learn to raid. So what I did, or what I'm going to do here, is I want to show people that they can learn to solo Cox. It's not that horrible with this method I'm going to show. It might even be considered easy, in my opinion. Once you learn it, once you get a little practice with it, you'll be able to, watch Netflix in the background. You'll just be able to chill. It becomes a really easy method. So this is not a highly efficient method. It's not what you want to do when you're going for speed runs, when you're, trying to get really good at soloing Cox. But it's a really good alternative to learn. It's a good alternative for people that are having trouble finding teams, or anything along those lines. So I guess it should be taken with a grain of salt. This is the method that I've learned to just solo it easily when you don't have other people to go with. People ask what kind of stats, what kind of gear do they need? So I'm bringing very, very low budget gear. You can see it right here. This is going to be the melee setup. It's a couple mil. It's not even a 5 mil setup. I am bringing a torso. You don't really need the torso. I'm going to bring a tentacle whip. I'm only using a rune defender, only using dragon boots. I'm not even bringing melee legs. I'm just going to use the mystic rope bottoms. I'm using a fire cape, Burrow's gloves, and I do have a light bear. Which, in hindsight, I don't even know why I brought this, because I don't have a spec weapon. I'm not going to bring a Dragon Warhammer, which a lot of people consider necessary, and it's so helpful. It really is, but I'm going to do this run without it, just to show a budget gear setup. My range setup is just going to be a 4-way swap with a rune crossbow, and I don't even have God D hides, just Black Dragon hide. The cape, for those who don't know, it's just an assembler. If you don't have an assembler, the Ava's assembler, you can just use the accumulator. It's really just to save bolts, but it's basically just a standard range backpack. For the mage setup, I'm just bringing mystics. I do have a mage arena 2 cape, which is nice. It's not that hard to get. I suppose you could just use a mage arena 1 cape or just the fire cape. I guess it probably won't really matter. I do have the occult necklace, but you could just use a fury. Or I suppose in my case, I'm just wearing a glory. And I have a trident of the swamp. The most important thing about all this is whatever your trident is, whatever your mage weapon is, it should be 4 tick. It should definitely be 4 tick. So trident of the swamp, trident of the seas. I think there's a new scepter out, but I'm not too familiar with it. So we'll just go with the trident. And it cannot be on long range. It must not be on long range for this to work. Either one of these accurates work. I just have it on the first one. It cannot be on long range. Other than that, I have a ton of stamina. I don't know how much I'm going to need for this budget setup, but obviously the better gear you have, the less stamina you need. Because I have all that stamina, I'm going to bring a lot of restores, or revitalization potions. I'm bringing the 1 standard overload, the 1 standard prayer enhance, and I guess I'm just bringing the rest brew. But we won't need them. This is basically a 0 damage method. It's going to take a while. It's probably, I don't know how long this almost is going to be. We'll see at the end. But we won't really need much brew. I guess I'm just bringing a lot of restores because I think it might be a long fight, and we definitely need a lot of stams, but I'm not sure how many. So this is as budget of a setup as I can get, so we'll see how many staminas we need at the end of all this. Finally, I just want to go over my plugins real quick. I'm only going to use 2. So one of them is the tile indicators, which is the blue tile that you can see under me. It shows me my true tile. So I have the true tile on. I have the true tile marked. So I can basically see where the game thinks I am. It's always a little bit ahead of my character. The second one, and they're both very important plugins, in my opinion. The second one is this little ticker up here. This is the visual metronome plugin. I have it set up to be above my head, and I have it set up to be really big. And for Ulm, I set it to 4 ticks. And this is going to be very important for this method. Once you get more familiar with it, you probably don't need this visual metronome plugin, but for learning, I think it's going to be really helpful. So those are the only plugins that are important. Those are the only plugins we're going to use. And let's just go. I'll try to talk through it. So we're going to start in our mage setup because we're not bringing a dragon warhammer. I guess if we were bringing a dragon warhammer, we could do that first, but we'll just we'll overload, we'll prayer enhance, we'll brew back up, drink some restore, drop that restore, pick this stuff up, and we'll start. So let's go. Let's do it. Overload, prayer enhance, top off our health. We're gonna drink a full brew. Probably didn't need to drink the last dose, but whatever. And then revitalization, get our stats back up, and let's go. Let's send it. Here we go. I'm not gonna use prayers, just overheads. So I'll start here, and if he stands on this side, my side, I'm gonna attack him as soon as he spawns, and we go. And this is called 3-0. So there are multiple 3-0 guides out there. Basically what we're going between is just these 3 tiles. And we're attacking on everyone. It almost forces us into the situation. So I splash there, and if I splash, I run all the way left, and then I go back right. And we just get right back into the pattern. So if we splash from the right, there we did it again. And we have to run left. Oops, I fell out of time. So if I fall out of time, I can get right back in rhythm. And there is one thing I wanted to point out. It looks like I am attacking when my visual metronome says 1. I'm attacking, my attack goes off on 1. There it is, I messed up again because I'm talking. But I attack on 1. And therefore he's also turning his head on 1. So he's trying to attack on 1. So if I ever fall out of rhythm, I can get back in rhythm by looking for the 1. At least on this phase, and every phase it's going to change. So here, let me drink some of my stamina. It's getting a little low. I probably shouldn't have even got that low to begin with, but we'll just get right back in rhythm. So this is called the 3-0 method. And like I said, there's plenty of guides for it. And for the mage hand, we're just going to do this until it dies. And it looks like it's already getting close to death. So I don't think I'm going to use as much stamina as I thought, hopefully. But he's almost dead. So now we'll switch into the melee gear. Oops. And he attacks on 1. So look, we're all out of rhythm, we're out of sync, so we'll just know that he attacks on 1, and we go. So this is called the 1-0 method, and it's very easy. It's for the melee hand. So there's a lot of guides out there that recommend things like 3-1 or 4-1, or there's even more advanced techniques than that. But we are just going to do this brain dead 1-0 method. And the way it works is we just run back and forth and back and forth, and you can see that he's still turning his head on 1. Every time my visual metronome shows a 1 is when he turns his head. So if we fall out of rhythm, we can just get right back into it on this phase when it's a 1. Now, it's not always going to be a 1, and first phase isn't always going to be a 1. But once you realize what tick he is turning his head on, it will stay the same for the entire phase. Not the whole fight, but the whole phase. So let me explain what I'm doing with this 1-0. I run to this left tile right here, and I click the hand. So here we go, we're going to run to the left tile, and as soon as my true tile, right, we're not looking at my character, we're actually looking at the little blue true tile from that plugin that I mentioned earlier. That's what's important. And we never want to stop. See, it never lags. It's always left and right. Looking at that blue tile, it's always left and right and left and right. And what we do is, as soon as we see it hit this tile right here, this is the thumb tile. As soon as we see it hit that, we run to the right. So here we're left, click the hand, right tile. Left, click the hand, right tile. So I click the right tile as soon as the true tile indicator is on his thumb. And this is the 1-0 method. So you notice he doesn't even, he never even attacks. It's a free phase. It might take a little while, especially with this method, but you know, you don't have to learn the 3-1. You don't have to learn the 4-1. And for those who are wondering, 3-1 is actually done with a scythe, a 5-tick weapon. And that's 3-1, and 4-1 is done with a 4-tick weapon. So like the whip, what else could there be? I guess a whip, a rapier, you know, a lance. Yeah, a lance, that's the big one. But we're using it. This will work with any weapon right here. This will actually work with an elder maul, a lance, a scythe, a whip. It'll work with any weapon you have, any melee weapon. You can do this 1-0. So here, let me overload back up. It actually sucks. I'm probably gonna run out of overload before anything else. But I'm in very budget gear. So you see I'm overloading, I'm lagging out, you know, my guy is kind of twitching and stuff. But all that really matters is I'm always watching the blue tile. So the hand is almost dead. And all we have to do is do exactly this all over again. So here, the overload hurt me, so I'll just brew up a little bit to be safe, just a little bit. Not gonna waste the brew. If we do this method, the one time where we might use some brew is probably gonna be the very end during the head phase, when we're ranging. So it looks like in this super budget gear with no offensive prayers, I only used 1 stamina. So this might actually only be like a 4 stamina run. It's really not that bad. I overestimated how many restores I would need. So here we'll just run around. The crystals fall on 4-tick cycles, so I can just keep moving every 4 ticks, and we'll put on our mage gear, and we're just gonna do 3-0 again. So all we're really looking for while doing 3-0 is if we splash from the right side. So here we're on the right side, we didn't splash, so we can just stay in our pattern. We'll drink a stamina in between, you know, whenever it's convenient. You don't need to rush to drink your potions because Ulm isn't really attacking. Nothing is really happening. So we drink when we can, we drink when it's convenient. And let me point this out. So now I'm attacking on 3, which means that Ulm's head is turning on 3. So if I fall out of rhythm, let me just throw myself out of rhythm on purpose. I'm just going to throw myself out of rhythm. I'll let him hit me. It'll be okay. Let me put a prayer on just in case. But if he falls out of rhythm, I'm going to... Oh, shoot. He threw the portals. That sucks. So now I'm really out of rhythm, right? But we can get back into the rhythm because we know that on this phase, he's attacking on 3. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And we'll run. So now we're already back in rhythm. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't get back in rhythm. 3. 3. And now we're in rhythm. So, yeah, I get a little distracted when I start talking like that, but it's actually kind of nice because it gives me the opportunity to show you how to fall out of rhythm and how to get back into the rhythm. So obviously this is not a flawless kill, but it's decent because we get to show how to fall out of rhythm and get back into it. So my prayer's gone, let me top that back off. Back in rhythm on 3, we splash, so we'll run left, and it looks like the hand is probably dead. Here we go. Go back into our melee gear, and we'll run on 3. There we go, 3. And he's gonna stay just like he was, just like he turned his head on 1 during phase 1 of the fight. We've now learned that on this phase 2 of the fight, he was turning on 3. And it'll stay that way for the whole phase. It stays that way until both hands die. So I need to drink my stamina. I'll drink that up. I can probably drink a brew. 1 dose of brew, it's okay. Took a little damage when we fell out of sync there. And we'll get our prayer back up, and we're pretty much topped off. We're at 55 health right now, but when our overload runs out, it's actually going to heal us back the 50 HP that it drained. So it'll bring us back up to 99, so we're just going to wait for the overload to, you know, top us back off. Otherwise, we're just going to do the 1-0. Same exact thing as it was in Phase 1. Just drink some stamina as needed. We brought plenty. We brought more than enough, so we can literally just be generous with it. I'm actually, I didn't know how many staminas we were going to need. But, yeah, once you get into rhythm, and it doesn't matter whether you're fighting the mage hand or the melee hand, once you're in a constant rhythm, you can actually turn your prayers off. You don't even need them on. It'll make the fight, I mean, overheads, it won't even matter. You're not getting hit. Overheads don't matter. You can keep your offensive prayers on if you wanted to. I'm just not using them for this run, because I wanted to show a total budget setup. Just to prove how, like, you know, stress-free, how simple a solo ohm can be, you know, once you've learned how to do it. So the overload ran out. We can see it topped us back up to 99 HP, which is nice. So we'll overload again. I guess I forgot to drink the prayer enhance earlier, so we'll drink that too. And we're just watching the true tile indicator. So like I said earlier, when your guy's twitching out from drinking the overload and stuff, the visual effects don't even matter, because we are just watching the true tile, the little moving blue tile indicator. Drink some stamina. I got plenty of brews, so I might as well be generous, you know. Drink 1 dose just to be safe. You never know when you could accidentally fall out of rhythm, out of pattern. And we're just gonna finish off this hand. Hopefully it goes down soon. So like I said, it's kind of a long fight. Obviously, if you have a scythe, if you have a lance, if you're using offensive prayers, it just goes so much better. I mean, I've got really bad gear right now, right? I'm not even wearing... Like, the only melee gear I even have is, like, what? The dragon boots, the whip, a glory, a fire cape, you know, it's... Everything is an upgrade. No matter what you have, no matter what gear you have, beyond what I'm wearing is an upgrade, and that just speeds up the process more and more. So what we're seeing here is basically the longest version of this this 3-0-1-0 method that you can possibly do. It's taking quite a while, but we'll go down in a sec. We got plenty of stamina. We got literally more than enough stamina. I probably needed to bring, like, what, 4? So, you know, when you're learning this, maybe you want to bring a little extra stamina when you're learning it, but you definitely don't need 8. And a couple extra brews would be nice, right? You're learning, you're making some mistakes, but there it goes. So the hand is down. We're going into Phase 3. And surprise, surprise, Phase 3 is almost the exact same thing. So I'm just moving every couple ticks. I lag. If I see one of the crystals is gonna fall on me or next to me, you know, I just move right then. But here, we'll throw our mage gear on, and we'll throw on an overhead prayer just to start, and we're gonna get ready. So now so we splash, so we'll run left, and it looks like he's turning this time on 1. So you don't know what tick the head is going to turn on until the phase begins, and all phases are different. You know, Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, they're always going to be different. It's just a coincidence that Phase 1 and Phase 3 ended up him turning on tick 1. But I think now that, you know, I've kind of described what's happening, we'll see if we can get this melee hand, or this mage hand, without actually falling out of rhythm, just to show what a really clean phase would look like, right? So we're actually doing pretty good DPS. So I don't even need the overhead on, right? I mentioned that. So once you kind of get in rhythm, get in sync, you don't even need to be wasting your prayer. Leave it off, save some prayer points. It's okay. So what we're gonna do in phase 3, so I splash, so we'll run left. And there are guides, like I said, for messed up right there. But we know he turns on 1, right? So we will run on 1. Run on 1. There we go. We're right back in sync. So we're gonna get it as low as possible. And 25 health. We can see up here he's at he's at 25 health. That's pretty good. Oh, let me put some on. So we don't want to kill the hand because it's phase 3. Run on 1. Oops. And we got him right back in sync. So see, I don't even need to hit him. Once I get into that 1-0 pattern, he'll just stay, you know, bobbing his head back and forth looking at us. Let me turn this off so I'm not wasting prayer. And if you're getting flustered, if you know what tick he turns his head on, you can always get back into rhythm, into sync. So here, now we'll start doing the 1-0, and what we're going to do, we know we have his mage hand very low. His mage hand was at 25 health, I think it was. So we're just going to kill the melee hand. And what's important with the melee hand on phase 3, this is specifically when you're soloing on phase 3, when that, you need both hands to die at roughly the same time. They need to die back to back. So we got the mage hand very low. We're going to kill the melee hand right now. And when the melee hand goes down, we need to hurry up as fast as possible, put on our mage gear, and finish up that mage hand. And we don't even need to worry. You know, I mean, we can once we get a little practice, once we get comfortable, we can, I guess, try to get in the 3-0 cycle, but we don't need to. We just need to kill that mage hand right away so that the melee hand doesn't respawn while we're still trying to kill the mage hand. So we'll drink our last dose of overload. I do wish I had more overload, but if you have better gear, if you're using offensive prayers, those 4 overload doses are way more than enough. Way more than enough. So, you know what? I guess now that I think about it, I have them all turned off, so I can't use lower level offensive prayers. I probably should have been using lower level offensive prayers this whole time, but I brain farted and forgot all about them. So oh well. But yeah, if you don't have piety for some reason, piety. If you don't have rigor, if you don't have augury, you know, you can just use like offensive prayers from a tier down, which is fine, and which I probably should have been doing. It really would have sped this up. But yeah, see, look, I'm forgetting all kinds of things. I'm forgetting to stamina up, which is really no big deal. We can do it whenever we get a chance, whenever we get like an opportunity to drink a potion. And I should say, when we're doing the 1-0, the best time to drink a potion is when you're running from the right to the left. So right now's a good time to drink a potion. Otherwise, you might accidentally throw yourself, you know, off time, off tick. You're gonna take a hit or two. God forbid he uses portals. When he uses portals, that's the worst. The portals is probably the worst attack because it really throws you off your game. And if you hear some weird jumbling in the background of my mic, it's actually my chinchilla. His name's Naruto. He's on his wheel. So, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's what that is. But anyway, his melee hand's getting kind of low. What I want to do is I'm going to top off. Because I have plenty of brew. It really doesn't matter. I might as well top off. Just to be safe for the end. So the final phase, which is coming up, when both these hands died, the final phase is the head phase, and that's where we use our range. That's the only reason we even have a range set up. Actually, let me put these back on, because I am going to have to mage for a minute. But the final phase is the head phase, and what we're going to do is another version of 1-0. So his head will basically never attack us. And the only damage that we're going to take is actually from the crystals that fall from the sky. So, let's just get our stamina up. We have plenty. Looks like we've used 4 so far in this really bad setup. Which is half as many as I thought that we might use. So this is actually, stamina-wise, we're so clean on the stamina. We've even messed up a few times. But it's nice because it gives the opportunity to show how to get back in sync. But I just want to kill this hand real quick, and then we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna hurry up, swap into our mage gear, and finish that mage hand ASAP. It needs to go down immediately, otherwise we get stuck doing another entire set of hands. I mean, it's bad, or at least another melee hand. So here we go. It's dead. We throw on our mage gear really quick, and we kill it. There we go. So it died. And now let's get in. Oh, that sucks. I didn't want to deal with poison right now. So I think he still turns on 1. Yeah, he's still turning on 1. So the head actually keeps the exact same pattern as it did in phase 3. So if he was turning on 1 on phase 3, he's also turning on 1 during the head phase. Oh, that's nice. There's some really good Ruby Bolt procs, so that's cool. Rune Crossbow for the win, bro. So all we gotta do, let me get into the, I mean, we're already in the 1-0 phase, but what I like to do is we run on 1, and I like to click in the middle. And then we run on 1, and we click in the middle, or actually past the middle. So we need to pass the middle, right? So after this tile, click. Doesn't matter where. And we run on 1, and after we get past the middle, we click. Attack. Run on 1. So this is called the 1-0 head method. And again, it's not efficient. It's definitely not the best way to kill the Olm head, but it's easy. And it's really easy to learn. You take almost no damage. We're only taking damage from the falling crystals. And we can just brew up whenever necessary. Drink our stamina a little bit. We were getting kind of low. So that's probably the most important part of the fight, to be honest. After you learn the 1-0 timing, the 3-0 timing, once you learn that kind of stuff, the most important part is don't let your stamina run out. So we got brew. Brew up a bit. We're hitting tons of Ruby Bolt procs, which is really cool. Rune Crossbow for the win, bro. Our overload ran out. Hopefully we got enough brew. Sucks only had 4, but I think we do. So the timing for the head phase, it's really lenient. You can attack anywhere once you're past the middle. It doesn't matter. So you have like 3 or 4 ticks where you can find time to attack. But this is it. This is the 1-0 head method. And he's almost done. He's only got 77 health left. Should go down in just a couple seconds. Get our restore back up. Get our stats back up. We're basically just waiting for him to die at this point. I could have brought a bolt switch, which would actually be nice right now. Now we're getting too many Ruby Bolt specs. But he's going down. $30 health left. We'll just drink stamina just cuz. Why not? So once you kind of get practice with the 1-0 head phase, you can even like look for where the crystals are falling and try and avoid them. So there it is. Solo Olm. Done. In a very, very budget gear setup. Let's see what we got. It was probably junk. Yeah, so we didn't get much at all. But that's a deathless raid, a deathless Olm. That's full points, so 30k, 31k, 32k. It's kind of what you can expect from one of these raids. I went really, really slow. Olm took forever. But like I said, you know, if you're using offensive prayers, if you have any gear that's better than this, which I'm sure you do, um, it'll speed up exponentially. It'll speed up by minutes and minutes and minutes at a time. Um, I was also wasting time before Rome started. But I think in hindsight, now that it's done, let's think about it really quick. It would have been nice to have a couple more brews. Hard to say how many restores I needed because I wasn't using offensive prayers. But I'd say at least 4 restores to be safe when you're learning. And as you get better and better, you know, you'll get a feel for it. You'll realize, oh, I don't need all that restore. Oh, I don't need all that stamina. You know, so it looks like at the absolute most, you only need 5 stamina potions. Because we had really bad gear. We weren't using offensive prayers. It only goes faster than what we just saw. So a few extra, or I mean, you don't need all this stamina, basically. So that's 3 extra slots that I probably could have brought brew, or you don't need another overload. The only reason that I ran out of overload is because I wasn't using prayers this whole time. And I'm sure you got things like a fury, or you know, a dragon defender. You can obviously bring a helmet. You know, I'm basically not even wearing a helmet. I'm wearing like a slayer helmet. So you could have brought like a face guard, or even the knight is not helmet. But yeah, so I hope this helped. I hope you got to see what was going on with the visual metronome. I hope you got to see what was going on with the true title indicator. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Hit me up. I'll reply. So, yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching. I really hope to help. Good luck learning solo. Good luck learning solo Cox. Good luck learning solo Ohm. And peace out.